I'm not used to reverse camera. It's very strange.
Okay.
So let's go. All right.
Right. Here we go. Here we go. We are live this afternoon. It's Graham with MyMusic. And in a minute, I'm going to be speaking to this lovely lady here.
Thank you.
And first, just so that everybody knows where we're coming from, who we're sponsored by, because that, that's important. I need to get going, Mel. See you later. Afternoon. Thanks for joining. How are you today, by the way?
Well, I'm a little confused because I don't usually get up this early in the daytime.
Yeah.
I usually
what time is it there?
It's a little after 11 in the morning.
Wow. That's very late for me.
See, for me, this is the dead of night.
Oh, right. Okay.
I usually go to bed, I would say at least at 4 or 5 in the morning.
You're nocturnal. You're a nocturnal animal.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. You see, I used to be many moons ago. Nowadays, since I've had children, who wake me up at very early in the morning.
Well, they tend to do that, yes.
Which they tend to do. Now I go to bed early and I get up early. And it's just the way it is. You can change between one and the other.
Right.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So you have some music out. When did you first start making music?
Oh, it was a very long time ago. I would say when I was a very young teenager, I was going into the clubs illegally in New York City. And my first appearance was on stage with Nicole Willis and Adam Horowitz of the Beastie Boys at a club called Danceteria in New York City. So that was the first time I was on stage. But I've played drums since I was about 3 years old. And I've been playing piano since I was about 6. Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Was it a very musical household then?
I come from a long line of musicians on both sides of my family. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So who was your hero growing up? Was it actually someone in your house?
No.
No. Okay.
No. My music. Oh, my hero was Wonder Woman.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Cool.
And let's see, my musical heroes. I mean, there were so many, there's so many. I can't name them all. But I would say, okay, this is going to sound maybe a bit strange, but the reason that I am a musician today is because I saw A Flock of Seagulls on MTV when I was a kid.
Right.
Now, here's something quite magnificent. I have a surprise for you. Here's an exclusive for you. Yeah. I am about to release a track with Ali Score, the original drummer of A Flock of Seagulls.
Wow.
Next year, early in the year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fantastic.
So there you go. You got the exclusive on that.
It would be one of your tracks?
It is a track that I wrote and Ali drummed on it. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. You see, for me, if you were playing with a musician from a famous band like that,
I've done that quite a bit, yeah.
Yeah. I think there's always the temptation to actually try playing one of their songs. Has that ever been a temptation?
Yes, and Ali and I discussed that, but then we said, well, it's probably not the best idea,
No. Yeah. But not for general consumption, just for the fun of it, is what I mean. Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah, okay. You see, I honestly could not work with someone from Flock of Seagulls without trying to do Wishing. Really? I would.
I think that if we do anything, it will be Man-Made or Nightmares.
Right.
If at all. But the song is it's an original song that I wrote. So Yeah, it's I was very shocked, to put it mildly, because he's a childhood hero of mine. It's just, I text with him every day, and
What
he's
was it
become a
about the
good
flock of
friend.
seagulls? What was it about the flock of seagulls for you?
They were like unlike anything I've ever seen. Their low budget music video was spectacular. It just grabbed you. It sucked you right in. The sound, the guitar playing was phenomenal. I mean, Renault is top notch. It's just really, you know, a lot of people don't expect that from me, but they're the reason why I'm here. I also, of course, love post-punk music like Susie and the Banshees and The Cure, and all, you know, I love Wire. Wire is one of my favorite bands. I'm friends with Wire. Yeah.
Is that what people expect from you?
Yes, but now I've gone off into a different direction for a little while with this trap music thing. So
yeah. What got you into that?
The Weeknd.
Right, really?
Absolutely, The Weeknd. Yes, he's a tremendous influence on me right now.
Right, and for what reason is it? I mean, is it the use of 80s sounds, sort of combining it with strong melody?
It's that, but it's also the power of his vocals. It's just the overall feeling of it, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really remarkable. He's a powerhouse. And he sampled Susie and the Banshees.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, you can't deny that that's amazing.
So, I think it's great. I think it's great to have inspiration along the way. Is there anybody, I mean, you've just said, you know, you're going to be playing with a member of Flock of Seagulls, but is there anybody, if you could choose to, that you would play with that's not offered as of yet?
There are two people.
Okay.
The first is producer Ilangelo, and then the second is The Weeknd.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
That's top on your list. Okay, absolutely. So we'll mention both of those in as we retweet this later on.
Thank you.
Just in case they decide to pick up and, you know, make that dream come true. That would be tremendous. So you got started at a very early age.
Yes.
At what point did it move over from I like music, I'm doing music, to, do you know what, I actually really want to do music?
I would
or was
say,
it always there?
Well, it's always been there since I was little.
Yeah.
You know, I'd sit in my cousin's basement and bang away on the drums and, you know, listen to records and just like bash away. And, you know, it's always been there. I started writing songs when I was about 6 or 7 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
What were those songs about?
I don't even remember. I don't remember. But you know, I don't think they had lyrics at that point. I think it was just mostly piano, and I would go to the library. I lived in Miami as a child, and I had access to a grand piano in the library. I had a friend who worked there, so I used to just go there and just tap it out and sit there for hours and play the piano. So
did you have formal lessons on piano?
No, but I did have formal lessons on vocals. I was coached by Dr. Robert Sharon in New York City for quite some time. And hi, Dr. Sharon. I still love you so much. He's wonderful. He's retired in Florida right now. Yeah. He's magnificent.
So when you started learning piano, what was it? Did you find that you had an actual ear for piano?
Yes.
Or
Yes. And my father was a jazz pianist. So now I was unfortunately estranged from my birth father. My mother and he split up. But, you know, it's just, I don't know. I can't explain it. It's just a very strange thing. I just was drawn to it, and I started doing it. And then when I was a young teen, I said, I want to be like these people on MTV. That's what I want to do. Yeah. And I did it. And now, oh gosh, I've really done it with some very intense people. And I must tell you, Graham, that I did not expect it at all. And I'm very humbled by it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. What do you prefer? Do you prefer recording music, or do you prefer actually performing music?
Equally.
Or both? Equally.
Equally, yes. I love to be on stage. I will say, though, that I enjoy drumming on stage quite a bit now instead of being at the front. But I mean, obviously, I have to be at the front. But drumming is so much fun. I love it.
I love drumming. I'm rubbish at it, but I love doing it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, geez.
No, it's fine. I mean, look, I can keep certain beats, right? But you know, I grew up with a drummer, a young drummer who was a drummer in my band when I was 14 and he was 10, who's now
wow.
one of the world's best drummers.
I'm gonna do something strange here for a second. I want to see how. Hello. I can't see for you know what, right?
So you know, when you work with musicians who are naturally talented and actually end up being some of the best in the world, you soon realize what you're really good at and what you're not so good at.
Yes, that is true.
Right. So drumming for me wasn't, you know, but I really enjoy it. I think it's a very cathartic exercise, drumming, for me. You know,
I'm trying to figure this out. Okay.
For me, there is nothing better than getting behind a set of drums and beating out rhythm for an hour or so. Actually, just clears the head.
It does
tremendously.
And Ali says the same thing. He says, you know, when I sit down at the kit, I bash out my issues. Basically, it's wonderful. It's a lot of fun.
That's an hour of therapy right there. So I mean, that's good. Now listen. So in terms of we'll get serious for a minute. In terms of the latest music, it's obviously deeply personal.
It is.
Yes. What are you prepared to tell us about it?
Well, 7 years ago, I was very sick, and I mean dying. And I went to many doctors, and they sent me home. They didn't take me seriously. And so I said, well, you know, you should just at least give me a scan or something. And they said, no, you're just bloated. Go home, you know, watch what you eat, etc. And I went home. I got sicker, went to the emergency room. They sent me home. Went to a gastroenterologist, and he sent me home. And then at the last moment, I made a phone call to a surgeon here in Newport, Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Nicastri. And I was crying on the phone to his receptionist. And I said, please, I beg of you, let me come in. I feel that I'm dying. And I do believe that it is my gallbladder and something is not right. I have all the symptoms. I use what, you know, they call Dr. Google. So Dr. Google in this case was correct. He sent me right across the street for a scan the next day. They found that my gallbladder was not only full of stones, but basically bursting at the seams. And I was in the beginning of sepsis. They sent me to surgery 2 days later, and he saved my life. And so after that, now I already have a history of domestic violence. Sorry if I'm triggering anyone. I don't want to hurt anyone here. I was also homeless on the streets of New York as a teen. So that was enough to deal with. And I come from, you know, a less than perfect home, but my mother is a wonderful human being. I love her very dearly, and fences have been mended. However, so I went through all of that. My ex-boyfriend beat me. I'm a domestic violence survivor. And then I almost died of a misdiagnosed illness. And so he saved my life. And then after that, I developed an illness called wasting syndrome. So what happened to me was that my muscles ate themselves alive. I was so emaciated that my arms were just skin and bone. I had no butt. You could see the ribs through my chest. I was pretty effed up, to put it mildly. And so I developed post-traumatic stress disorder after the surgery. But now my doctor says that he thinks that the root of it was there for a while, but that this just brought it out. So I wrote this song about my experience of almost dying. But then I also thought of all the other people going through these things. And so I wanted to put it out there for others to know that they're not alone in this. Women, unfortunately, are often discounted by doctors. We're not taken seriously. It's very tough. I struggle with it every day. I'm on a little bit of anti-anxiety medication, very, very small dose. But I think I would say the latter part of 2016. Well, no, it was, see, it's hard for me to remember. This is another thing. No, it was about all right, 2015 and 2016. During that time, I couldn't even listen to music, never mind recording it. Really? I was, I would have moments where I would just stare at the walls, almost catatonic, like, just freaking out. And I couldn't talk. If I walked into a shop and music was on, I would run out crying because I lost the one thing that I loved. And not having that is hellish. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. But here I am, all these years later. See, I get the years confused because it was a blur. Yeah. But then, actually, I think it was later 2015 is when I recorded with Andy Anderson from The Cure. But that was, I'm going to be blunt here, that song was written prior to my illness, and he drummed on it. Now, that's something I haven't told anyone. So it's heavy stuff. But here I am. I'm surviving. I'm working hard. I have management now. I have a publicist who I adore. My manager is he's like family to me. So here I am. I'm alive. I still struggle. I do. I have my good days and my bad days, just like anyone else. So this song, this video on YouTube, there's a link below it for donations to the National Alliance for the mentally ill. I think it's NAMI, NAMI, National Alliance of the Mentally Ill, and trying to raise money for that because they have helped me in the past. And specifically, they helped me when I was going through a domestic violence situation in the 2000s, early 2000s.
Well, I'll make sure that we copy that link and put it under the interview as well, so that
thank you
that people get that. Quite a story. I mean, is it too early with the release of this for you to really know what the feedback is from other people that have listened to it and have gone, that's me, or are you getting that already?
I'm getting a little bit of that, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is that quite encouraging for you?
Yes, it's very heartwarming. I like that very much.
Yeah.
So, if I seem a little shaky, this is my first live interview in ages. I've done recorded interviews, but it's been a hot minute. I mean, I've been on shows, on radio broadcasts live, and I'm like, in the camera, but this is the first interview I've done live in
Well, you're doing wonderfully.
Thank you. I'm a little shaky, and I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a little shaky.
Well, no,
I'm trying to handle it.
That's fine. I know what it's like. I mean,
Thank you for your kindness. It means a lot to me.
It's fine. Many moons ago, when I first did radio, I got shoved into radio.
Yes.
Before I was ready, and it was terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. It was, when suddenly someone says to you, there's 300,000 people listening, and you're just thinking about all of the things that could go wrong and thinking about what you look like.
Gigs are like that. Gigs are just like that. You have pre-gig anxiety, and then you get on stage, and you're like, "Hey, I'm here. Let's have fun." Let's do it.
And it goes. Yeah, it's nerves and anxiety and that whole area is a really interesting area because actually a lot of people assume that a lot of people are much more confident than they are in real life. You know,
it's an act we all put on. Yes.
Yeah, and I
Pretty
don't.
much.
Yeah, I think there are some people who are naturally comfortable and confident in a public arena, but I would have to say that most of the people that I've met over the years who are actually the best at performing or the best in front of people are actually nervous and are actually a little anxious, because I think that vulnerability is the thing that connects with the audience.
That's interesting that you say that, because I've read many interviews of musicians, other musicians who I admire, and they've said the same thing. They said, you know, there was one in particular who said, before I get on stage, I sometimes just hurl biscuits, you know, and then I get on stage and I'm fine. But yeah, it's all so intense.
It
really.
is. It is. But
I love it, but it's very intense.
Yeah, but I do think that, you know, you've, in a way, for you to connect with someone on a more emotional level, you've got to be vulnerable to an extent.
Yes, that is very true.
You know, and so I think it's always a sort of weighing up between, you know, the confidence and the anxiety. I mean, that's where practice comes in, right?
Yes.
For musicians,
yes.
knowing what you are doing to some extent. And when I talked to a musician a couple of weeks ago, John Mouse, about it, and he said, you know, he seems uber confident in front of people, but he said he's not. But actually, it comes from going through it and knowing that, you know, you've practiced, but also knowing to some extent what you are going to do.
I think that audience reaction also plays a big part of it. For me, when the audience is in a good mood, it makes me feel comfortable. And if the audience is edgy, you know, with this COVID thing, I'll tell you, I played a gig in Boston on September 11th on a Saturday night, and the audience was fantastic, but everybody was all masked up, and we were masked up on stage.
Right.
So I enjoyed that gig quite a bit. That was in Boston, in Somerville. That was the first gig I've done in maybe almost 2 years. Yeah, about a year and a half to 2 years.
Have you played in England much?
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I've never played in England, and I want to get over there.
You do? Absolutely. We want you to get over here.
Thank you. I've been asked by several people to do that.
Let's make that happen, shall we?
I would like that very much. Very much.
Let's put that on your list for the next year. Hopefully someone will make that happen.
Well, things are a little crazy in the world right now, to put it mildly. Oh, and by the way, I've also written songs about the pandemic.
Right.
I have not yet released them.
Yeah.
I plan on releasing them.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a brave move in a way, because I think lots of musicians have written songs about the pandemic, but they've kind of tried to stay cool about it and say, well, it's not about the pandemic. But you can hear that it is about the pandemic.
Yes.
Yeah. But that's very brave and upfront of you to say.
Thank you.
That I've written songs about the pandemic, because it almost seems like you shouldn't go there.
Well, there's one in particular that I wrote about my very intense dissatisfaction with the former administration, and in particular the Senate, and how I feel that they did not act swiftly enough. And so and I'm sorry, I'm going to be a Debbie Downer here, but 2 of my friends passed away from COVID. So I had to get it out.
Yeah.
I had to do it. And that's that. And it's going to get released. And I need to do that to feel good about what happened. I mean, I wouldn't say good, but I need to get it out of my system. Yeah. I'm angry.
Yeah.
I'm angry.
And that's important. How do you write, by the way? Do you feel songs come to you? Are songs existing, and you're a channel for them, or is it a more of a cerebral process for you? How do you write?
Mostly it's emotional. I feel things and then I sit down, but and it comes out of me. I just sit there and just emote. But sometimes I get ideas ahead of time and I just take notes on my mobile or, on a piece of paper. Sometimes things around me inspire me immediately in the moment. Sometimes I get a riff in my head and I just must go sit down and bang it out.
Yeah.
So it's all of those things. Yes.
Yeah. Do you ever call anyone at 4? Because you say you're a late night lady. Do you ever call anyone at 0:00 in the morning and say, "I've got this," or not?
No.
Have you done that?
No, because no, because that would really tick them off. No, I'm not going to do that to
Well,
people.
it would do, unless they're up and they're the same kind
Well,
of
yeah,
person.
I mean, if they're up, see, the most of the people that I work with are over the pond, as we say, except for Ali, who's in Florida right now.
Yeah.
So now I don't want to wake them up at 8:00 in the morning and be like, "Hey, I've got a song. Let's work on it now." But yeah, I do work remotely, because of this situation we have.
That's the best way to work in some respect. Now, so just so people know, where can they get hold of your music?
It's on Spotify, YouTube. I'm everywhere. Deezer, all of the streaming. Yeah, I mean, it's everywhere. It's on every streaming service. Yeah. It's on YouTube. Yeah, my YouTube channel needs subscribers, so please subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, do that.
Thank you. Yes.
Now look, let me ask the question in another way.
Okay.
How can people subsidize your music? Because that's different. Because everyone can listen to people's music, right? But how can they subsidize your music?
Subscribe to my YouTube channel so then I can monetize again, because I haven't been able to monetize. Yeah. And I do have some vinyl. I have a record out right now on Bandcamp, but that was a collaboration with Dirk Ivens from Absolute Body Control. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention my collabs. Just realized that. I have collaborated with Reeves Gabrels. Hi, Reeves. From David Bowie.
Tin Machine.
He's in Tin Machine, and now he's in The Cure.
Yeah.
Hi, Robert. So let's see. The late Andy Anderson from The Cure. Let's see, who else? Dirk Ivens, John Ashton from the Psychedelic Furs, who is very unfortunately very ill right now. He's been diagnosed with cancer, and there is a GoFundMe for him. So if anyone's seeing this, please help John Ashton's GoFundMe. He needs the help very badly. Oh, thank you. He's a very dear friend and collaborator. I adore him. I love him very much, and he's suffering immensely right now. It's been quite a ride. So that's the gist of it.
Psychedelic Furs, Pretty in Pink was one of the first songs that really twisted my brain.
Me too.
Growing up,
Me too. Me too. And I never thought that was going to happen in a million years. Yeah. Never. I mean, it's very shocking for me. I some people might think, oh, she's an egotist, she's full of herself. No, it's not like that. I'm always surprised. I'm always shocked by it.
Yeah. You said hello to Robert there. Do you actually have Robert on speed dial?
No, but I have others on speed dial. Okay. I met Robert when I was 17 years old at an in store. I used to work at Tower Records in New York City. Nice. And that was neat. I had a nice day. I did get fired though from that job because I spent way too much time upstairs trying to talk with the band, and I was supposed to be down at my register. So yeah.
So for 2022, we need you to meet the weekend.
Yes.
That's got to happen.
Thank you. And Ilangelo, if you can hear this, you are the GOAT. I want to work with you.
Yeah. Oh, so go for it. You're going to say another name as well.
Yeah. Now my publicist is trying to arrange something with Chris Connell from Pigface and Murder Inc. So that might happen. And then I'm also going to work with Ava Vox. We're setting that up. So, I have, and then there's the Jenn Vix side project. I have a lot going on right now.
You're busy, aren't you?
Yeah, crazy busy. Yes.
You're really busy. So
yeah. Sorry to boast here. I'm not trying to boast. I'm just trying to tell you what I'm doing.
You're just telling us what your day job is.
Right.
That's fine. So that's all happening in 2022, hopefully.
Yes.
We're going to get more subscribers to your YouTube channel.
Yeah, that is very important, and that really helps me out a lot. And it also draws attention to the what's the word for it? The
charity.
The charity, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And also, there's some great vinyl collaboration stuff available on Bandcamp.
Yes,
well, and if people would like to get hold of a piece of vinyl, which is becoming a rarity these days, because
it's on the Aunt Zen label right now, but I'm also going to put copies of my own up on my own Bandcamp page for sale after Aunt Zen makes their cut. So first it's Aunt Zen, and then it will be me.
Yeah.
But I do get royalties from the streams also.
Yeah.
Of that track. I get royalties from streams. Here's the thing, back in the day, there was more money, obviously, before streaming, but I like streaming because anyone, anywhere in the world at 4:00 in the morning or whatever time can just go listen to your music. And at first I was weird about it, and now I actually like it quite a bit.
I love it. But all I say to people is, merch. Yeah,
I have a merch shop. Yes.
Well, there you go. You may have seen, if you've seen any of my previous interviews, it's what I say is, if you're going to stream it, buy some merch.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter, right? Give £10 for a t-shirt, listen to the album for free. It's fine.
I have hoodies, t-shirts, mugs, all those things, they're up there.
Go buy, do it now.
Christmas
is round the corner. It might not make it to you by Christmas, but it can be a New Year's gift.
Yes.
How about that? That's a beautiful thing. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me and putting up with all this heavy stuff. It's a lot.
It's not putting up. It's important stuff, and it's important that we talk about it.
Well, thank you.
And actually, as someone that used to trudge around the country assessing people for in the workplace who were struggling with various different bits and pieces, it's really important that we make time to listen. It's really, really important. It was one of the things that used to annoy me immensely. Is I was tasked with doing assessments, and sometimes I was given like half an hour to do an assessment.
Yes.
With someone, and I would kick back if there were occasions when I found people who had PTSD on those assessments, and I would get told off because I would be there for 4 hours. And I just say, well, here's the thing. That person has never had the opportunity to talk to someone with regards to work before now, and how they're affected by their PTSD. If they want to talk to me, that's what I'm going to do.
That's great.
Yeah. So I just like to add that to people as well. If someone needs to talk to you, make the time.
And you never know what someone is going through. You never know. You can't tell from the outside sometimes, or most of the time. I mean, I've had people assume that I was okay when I was breaking up inside, and then I've had people assume I was breaking up inside when I was doing fairly well. So, what I always say to people is, don't judge a book by its cover, like the old saying says. When you look at someone, don't here's a message I would like to get out before we end this. Another big thing for me is body shaming and just shaming people's appearance in general. That's a big no-no, because when I was underweight, I was severely body shamed, and still it sometimes happens to me. And when I was bloated and sick, I was body shamed. So it's like, you can't win. So please, if you see someone, please do not make rude comments about their appearance, because you never know what they're going through. And that's a very important message that I would like to get out today. And I appreciate you allowing me to say that, Graham. Thank you.
No, I appreciate you saying it. That's the thing, because that's an important thing that people need to take with them. Folks, hang that on your Christmas hat, and I mean your mental hat, rather than worrying about everything else at Christmas.
Yes. Let us not judge others so heavily.
Let's be nicer to people in 2022, because goodness knows we need it.
Yes, thank you.
Do you know what? It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today.
The same
absolute
to you.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much.
And I hope people support the single, not just because it's a great single, and because,
thank you,
and it's a wonderful song, but because actually the message behind it's really important as well. So I really do hope that people support it, and I will make sure that the links are there so that people can support the charity. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you very much, Graham.
And I'll no doubt speak to you in 2022.
That would be lovely. Thank you.
You have yourself a good Christmas.
Have a great Christmas and a great day.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
Goodbye.